activities of violent extremists in neighboring Burkina Faso have resulted in the deaths of hundreds of Burkinabés, as several others continue to flee the country for fear of being killed. Sapeliga in the Boku West district of the Upper East region has become a safe haven for these Burkinabe refugees. It is against the backdrop of this that the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and the Ghana Refugee Board paid a working visit to Sapeliga to assess the refugee situation and find alternative ways to address their plight. The refugees have sought asylum at Sapeliga and have been provided with temporary shelter, which are woefully inadequate. The refugees share 2 toilet facilities and a bathroom. Children have no access to education, while their unemployed parents virtually beg to fend for their family. Some of the refugees have been sharing with Citi News their predicaments and appealed for support.
Haya lotoli la yelle ti paramen kabe kwa ti yella men tatondo namahada bansa kwamba wawa me neba wawa me ti bansa namatondo koma namata tondo neba ganya tenga roda kabe futumen kabe pimen kabe nganye neba ganya tenga ton ko to gouvernement ta shong tondo ton pam shong bilfu ton me yizulo e sapora lotoli me ka be 20.5 neba wawa wiso wala equale me kwamba fanzi zalam kwamba kyanga hangta wala kwam kwabara to fanji sin zalam pa karamde apkatumde ti yiba yele to yi kakeme to na namba na da ton tipa
tet san ko ko jima rabo ligid kai ha ton de rata bon de fa lokotol yiri ti para kwamba san kakem ti para ya toro ha parba santal pousse tal banse ti patal songre ti ton bon songre en parba jiba la kwamba bansa ton bon de songre ti para ti data lokotol yiri songre futume kabe parning to endo rameti teda men paseke futume naning big pel kala ninga men paseke ti ton bon de fa songre to sanke baby.
After an assessment of the situation, the country representative of UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency, Madame Esther Kiragu, shared in the plight of the refugees and hinted that her outfit will soon engage Ghana government in addressing the plight of refugees.
Looking at the way they are staying, there is no shelter that is anything you could call shelter, no privacy. They are makeshift, but the one thing that really bothers me is the proximity to the Burkina Faso border, because that also has a bearing on security for them. And there's no water. There's only this one water point, but they will definitely need more. Issues to do with hygiene are a bit of a concern as well. But that's what happens when a site is not planned.
However, the executive secretary of the Ghana Refugee Board, Tete Paddy, says some concerns of the refugees will be addressed soon.
Washrooms are also not adequate, and so we need to provide assistance to them in those areas. And we are working with our partners to obtain the necessary resources to make sure that they are comfortable. There are standards that need to be met in terms of washrooms, for instance. You need to have one washroom for at most 20 people. So those calculations need to come into play, and then we make sure that all the standards are met to make sure that they are comfortable.
In order to curb violent extremists from entering Sapeliga unnoticed, Chief of Sapeliga, Naba Ayagiba Agbangiba, says a community task force has been initiated to support security agencies apprehend questionable strangers.
Here we don't joke with strangers. You have to report immediately when you get a stranger. If you don't report and anything happens, then the chief will hold you responsible. We have formed work committees who help these security people.
Even though the refugee board has provided refugees coming from Burkina Faso due to violent extremism in that country some shelter here at Sapeliga, there are a lot of challenges ranging from sanitation, water, feeding, and even education and health services that are of great concern to these refugees. They are therefore appealing to government and other humanitarian organizations to come to their aid. For Citi News, Frederick Awuni, Sapeliga, Boku West District.